students, today we are going to be learning how to draw while using guidelines. The tools you're going to need is a ruler, a 30 centimeter ruler, pencil, sharpener, eraser, and paper. Now make sure that your pencil is nice and sharp, so if it isn't, sharpen our pencil up so that we have our nice and sharp pencil. Now I've already started my worksheet. Just going to get rid of these paper. There we go. All we have on our paper right now is our name, class, and date, our title, which is how to draw an image using guidelines, and some keywords at the bottom over here, like height, width, a key phrase, keep your pencil lines light, contour drawings, scale, ratio, and measurement. I also have an image of an apple here with some guidelines around it. And the great thing about guidelines is that it helps us to move images across the page or even scale our work upwards. We can make the images larger if we want using our scale and ratio. Maybe by 2 or by 3 ratio, we can increase the size of our work. A very important thing to remember is to always keep your pencil lines light. A good way to remember this is to draw a really dark line on the page, like so, and then a really light line next to it. This is so that you can compare, when you're drawing, you can compare your lines to the line that you've drawn. If you see that it's a little darker, then you know that you have to go lighter. Now to start our constructive lines, we are going to measure the height and the width of our structure lines. You can work on grid paper if it's easier for you as a starter. Grid paper is just a paper with little squares. It might be easier for you to measure on that paper, but if you're feeling confident, you can use blank paper like I am. So we're going to measure the height and the width. So to measure the height, we're just going to put our ruler against the line and go across. You can see that it's 8 centimeters. And now we're going to measure the width, which is 7 centimeters. Now we are ready to move our apple across the page using our guidelines. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to place our ruler on our top line. And we're going to just carry this line across the page, very lightly across the page. We're going to do the same for the bottom line. This is a simpler way of working. We're just going to carry the line across. Now that we're done, we are going to find the height of the apple. So the height is 8 centimeters. We know that we have to draw the line down by 8 centimeters. So have your ruler down, put a point so that we know where to start. Now you have to be very mindful of your ruler. You have to make sure that your ruler is parallel to the page. So you have to look at your space. If you see that your space is smaller from the top or from the bottom, you need to readjust your rulers so that it is parallel with the page itself. Alright, so we're going to draw a line across. And there we go. Now we know that our width is 7 centimeters, so I'm going to put my ruler along this line. I'm going to mark out 7 centimeters. I'm going to do the same for the line above. So we're going to mark out 7 centimeters as well. And then we're going to match these dots together. That will make our nice constructive line or guidelines for our apple. You can erase the extra lines that you have around the constructive lines that we've made or our guidelines so that we have a nice clean space to work with. Now we have the exact same area to work with. The next step is to move this apple from this box to this box. How do we do this? we are going to find the cross section of each box. So we're going to do it on this box. We're going to divide the height and the width by 2. So 8 divided by 2 is 4, 7 divided by 2 is 3.5. Don't forget to put your units in so you know what you're working with. So now I know that I need to split my height up in half. So I'm going to point out 4 centimeters on this side. And then I'm going to do the same on this side. I'm going to point out 4 centimeters. Now I'm going to join these dots together, but not only am I going to join these dots together, but I am going to take it across the page all the way to the other end. So I'm going to draw this line across this box to that box. There we go. Now we have our midsection. We're going to do our cross section. We're going to use the same method in marking out the midpoint. So we're going to point out 3.5 because that is our width halfway point. So 3.5 at the top. And we're going to mark 3.5 at the bottom. We're going to join these lines together. And there we go, we have the accurate cross section, which we're going to do the same thing on the other side. We're going to point out 3.5 and 3.5 again. And join these dots together. Once you're done, you can go ahead and erase all these extra lines that we don't need so that we can keep our page nice and neat. Now you can see that because we've split the box up, you're able to match each section with the space it needs to go to, kind of like a jigsaw puzzle. Another thing that we can mark out is the top of the apple here so that we can draw it a little bit more accurately. All you need to do is place your ruler, slide it down, and then make sure that it's accurate. And go ahead and draw your line across the page to the other box. Now you know that within this little space, that's where the stem of the apple is going to be. Now this might be the tricky part for some students. We are now going to draw this apple in the space that we've created. You just need to be very mindful, use your observational skills, and we are going to slowly draw out the apple the way that we see it. Curve around. When we're drawing a nice curve, a good trick for us to do is to hold our breath. This is going to help you curve around the space evenly and more accurately. Keep in mind that the whole purpose of drawing a guideline is so that we can stay within the box. You're not supposed to draw outside of the guideline because then our drawing is not going to be accurate. It also helps to turn the paper around so that your hand is more free to curve around. Now at this stage, it's good for you to re-evaluate your work. I can see that my apple is not as accurate as the example image, so I'm going to try to fix my work. It's also a good idea to turn your paper upside down because your eyes are going to be able to catch details a little bit more. So go ahead and fine-tune your work, turn your paper to the side, turn it upside down, hold it in front of you, and you will be able to catch details much better. I'm now happy with the way my apple looks. It's time to draw the stem. Another little measurement we can do is from the top to the bottom of the stem, or you can just put your ruler at the bottom and draw your line across. Now I know exactly where the bottom of the stem ends. We have to be super observant of where the stem is. I can see that the stem goes over my midline, so I'm going to draw it out, making sure that I carefully understand that the bottom goes across this line and stops at the line that we have drawn. I'm going to draw this curved line. To show almost the belly button of the apple. And again, you can go ahead and fine-tune your apple, erase lines that you don't need, redraw the lines that you feel would enhance this apple, and there you have it. Your result is not going to be exactly the same as the example sheet, but you can see that it is very simple for us to draw things accurately if we use our guidelines. You can also go ahead and erase lines that we don't need, redraw them again, and there you have it.